We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Joshua Lane, member of the board of directors of Dr. Ann Wigmore's Hippocrates Health Institute, Josh Lane was part of the Dr. Ann Wigmore team that brought wheatgrass, sprouts, and raw foods to a worldwide audience. And now the host of Here's to Your Health on LA Talk Live, Joshua Lane.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Joshua Lane. My guest is one of my series regulars, Shora Achardy. Dr. Achardy is a PhD in pharmacy and has a line of contemporary intelligent supplements called from the Anti-Aging Institute of California. Shora Achardy, welcome to Here's to Your Health.
Good morning, Josh. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing very well and you're getting younger and thinner, I should say.
Younger and thinner. That sounds good.
On a daily basis.
I think they said, I'm paraphrasing, you can never be too young or too thin. Is that what they say?
Well, too thin I don't like, but thin is good with a small waist. We don't want fat around the belly, and we want to stay young. And as you can see, I would like to ask the audience and the viewers, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? How old would you be, Josh? You didn't respond.
You know, I tell you, I haven't thought about it. I don't really know. You know, I hate to date myself with the music I still like, but, I don't really know, really.
Yeah, but we all feel younger than our age, I think.
When I'm in a good mood, I don't think about my age at all. If I'm feeling sorry for myself, then I think, oh, my God.
No, that's the worst thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to feel sorry about myself. I'll start crying. Only when I'm very tired. When I'm very, very tired, I feel sorry for myself. I feel like I should clone myself and have a few running around, and maybe I could sit back and relax and listen to music.
I understand that, yes.
Yes.
You are a registered pharmacist, and you have formulated some, what I think, are very good formulations.
Thank you.
Yes, and so I'm happy to have you on the show because I like to do intelligent wellness talk, and you certainly know this subject. And we've done some of your products before, but some of the products are new, and I was wondering if we could start right out with, stuff for mood and relaxations. You have one called Neuro Relax. Can you tell me why you have that formulation?
Well, a very good reason, because a lot of people, many of my clients, were asking for a product to de-stress them. We are all stressed, very, very much stressed. Every day we wake up, and before starting the day, we're stressed. So something to relax us would help. And I don't like pharmaceuticals and chemical medications. They work, but they work for a short period, and they work without actually addressing the cause of the stress. NeuroRelax has GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, which is one of the B complex family vitamin Bs. And it is in gabapentin, which is used for seizures, which is used for people with real stress on the brain. Gabapentin is a very good drug. It works, but it's a chemical drug. What I've done is that I've taken the B complex, the GABA, and added 1 milligram of melatonin, which relaxes us and helps us to sleep. And I've made this NeuroRelax. The combination works perfectly. It's not a sleeping pill, and it's not a relaxation medication. It is just additional B complex, additional GABA for the brain to relax, and the melatonin would help people to sleep better. So for people who are stressed, who cannot sleep, who have anxiety, who have panic attacks, who actually have seizures. I've had clients with seizures and young children with seizures who have taken NeuroRelax, and it helps seriously with the seizures.
I have I've been using it at night before I go to bed,
Uh,
and I find that I sleep well and I wake up and feel refreshed. I don't feel groggy. Is there any downside to melatonin?
Melatonin is known as an anti-aging substance, and we all know that sleeping is anti-aging. If we don't sleep, we age fast.
Right.
There is no negative with taking melatonin, except that I have to stress this, and I've had clients, and I have not experienced it myself, but there are people, and I know very close friend of mine, very good clients of mine, that have said when they take NeuroRelax, because of the even the low dose of 1 milligram, they will have nightmares and they
Aha.
would have bad dreams. And I've heard this and I've read this and I've talked to clients about this. I have not experienced it. I have not had nightmares. But some people do get nightmares. And the reason for all this, the reason for the anti aging products that are working, Josh, is that we have receptors in our body. We have receptors in our brain that would bind to, for example, the B complex, would bind to serotonin, would bind to melatonin.
Mhm.
Some of these receptors will not function the way they should. And
Wow.
that is why we have different reactions to medications, even different reactions to food. Some people with high dopamine would have coffee at night, would have a double espresso, and would go to bed and sleep well.
Right.
Other people will have a green tea and they cannot sleep with the caffeine. These are all the receptors in the brain that are binding to the ingredient.
Mhm.
And I don't know the reason, I don't know what happens, but I know that some receptors would bind to melatonin and would go in the wrong direction and would cause nightmares.
I do know that B6 is involved with dream recall, and that when people use additional B6, maybe to help them absorb zinc or as a diuretic or for whatever reasons, that they sometimes think, oh my God, it's amazing. I now remember my dreams with greater facility.
B complex altogether, all the B family vitamins go to the brain and they are absorbed highly in the brain. B6 has that effect, and also, as I mentioned, GABA, even though GABA is only a vitamin,
Mhm.
it does help with seizures, for example. It goes in the receptors that are causing the abnormality, the dysfunction of the connection of the neurons. And so when we follow the path, we can think better, we can have much better memories, even when we're awake, because it happens at all ages. Even young people may not have very good memories. But we know as we age, our memories are not functioning properly. If we want to think about someone's name or a phone number, we have to really work it hard. But when we take NeuroRelax with the additional GABA, we remember the numbers much better, the names much better. So it helps with learning, it helps with the cognition, learning whatever we want. If we want to study, it helps with remembering information much better.
Just GABA by itself.
GABA directly absorbing through going through the neurons in the brain. But I will follow up on the B6. I don't think we have B6 in this, but I will. We have a very, very strong B complex that has all the family of the vitamin Bs in it.
Yeah, it was a book that I always enjoyed reading years ago. It was Carl Pfeiffer's book, Zinc and Other Micronutrients. He talked about using B6 for dream recall. Now, I noticed that you have 1 milligram of melatonin in your formulation. And in your opinion, does 1 milligram work just as good as 3 or 5?
I did not want to put too much melatonin because people get drowsy,
Yes.
people get sleepy, and the effect of overdose has not been proved. We overdose on many things. For example, we overdose on sugar. we overdose on food.
Right.
We don't think about it as overdose, but we do take extra of whatever thinking that it works better.
Yes.
There is a capacity for everything. There's a capacity in the brain for melatonin. And if we're taking 1 milligram of melatonin every night and we're happy, there's no need to take more.
Yes.
Sometimes there may be a need to take more, and that is when we recommend to take 2 capsules of NeuroRelax. But I don't go higher. Usually 2 is more than enough.
Yeah, on a personal level, I find that I do just as good on 1 as I do on 3 or 5. That's been my experience. And I've read some articles, and the articles have different opinions. I did read an article recently that said that 25 milligrams of melatonin was being used now for breast cancer patients.
It is effective in many different ways. As I said, just recently they found out that it has anti-aging effect, and it keeps us younger. How it does that, it's still to be defined. But as I mentioned, I don't want to go overboard and exaggerate whatever we're doing.
Right.
If it's working with 1 milligram, why take extra?
Right.
And also, it helps with jet lag. That is another area for people who are traveling a lot. And there is also known that there's a relationship between cancer and a lot of the rays that are in the universe, and people who are traveling a lot are more exposed
Right.
if they're flying
Yes.
more. So melatonin helps with the jet lag, and we need more research to find out if it actually helps with the body's immune system to prevent it from the damage of the DNA that would cause cancer.
Yes. And at this juncture, how can I purchase the Anti-Aging Institute of California products, like the NeuroRelax, which, again, I happen to personally like? Where can I get this?
beforeyouage.com. Letter B, number 4, letter U, AGE.com. beforeyouage.com is our website. All the products are there. There's a brief description, because when I put too much description, I get all kinds of calls that, this is not so simple for everyone to understand. And I want to make it very simple for anyone who go on the website could read and totally understand what the product is good for.
Yeah, I find that too, just on a kind of a silly level. I have these mechanics that I work with all the time. I trust these guys. They're great mechanics. And whenever they're working on my car, they're always talking to me about the car parts and stuff. And I pay attention, and I like these guys. I know they're good mechanics. I can never remember anything they tell me. And I think, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? I think, okay. So.
Now, we all have brains that are programmed
Right.
for certain areas. I talk to physicians and they tell me, how do you remember chemistry? Chemistry is the worst subject in medical school. And I love chemistry. I absorb it so easily. And yet again, I don't know a word about finance. I'm just totally brain dead in that area.
That's right. Okay, so we all have our specialties. Do you have a
Yes.
product for that, by the way, that can expand our specialties yet?
Well, NeuroRelax helps.
Okay.
And serotonin. The product that we have
Okay, this is
named
serotonin HP, 5-HP, 5-HTP.
5-HTP. And it's the precursor to serotonin.
Right.
And I've named it serotonin directly for that purpose, because we all need serotonin. We do. And it is a known fact. It's not that I'm promoting a product or advertising for a product. And as we age, the brain does not make enough serotonin. And we cannot inject serotonin to the brain. We cannot. We cannot give serotonin to the brain in any form. The closest thing in medication is L-Dopa, which creates dopamine. And L-Dopa is given to patients with Parkinson's disease because the brain does not make enough dopamine in Parkinson's.
Does that help?
It does help. And if you go to Michael J. Fox's site, and I'm so glad that he's back on TV, he's been on high dose of L-Dopa, which increases dopamine in the brain. But the easiest thing is 5-HTP, 5-hydroxytryptophan, goes through the blood-brain barrier. Serotonin does not. There is there's a duty at the beginning of the brain, at the entrance to the brain. And the customs does not allow many of the food and many of the compounds that are circulating in the blood to go to the brain. It's called the blood-brain barrier. 5-HTP, which you can find in turkey. If you eat turkey breast, you're high in 5-HTP. And that's why people get relaxed at Thanksgiving. They eat and they feel like they want to have a long nap, or they feel very happy and very relaxed because 5-HTP goes to the brain and it generates serotonin in the brain. So the brain makes the serotonin. We don't give serotonin to the brain.
Right.
We just provide 5-HTP to the brain. The brain makes its own serotonin. Serotonin is then converted to dopamine and then converted to noradrenaline. Dopamine is what makes us happy, what makes us smart, gives us the drive for life. In orgasm, right when the very, very high feeling with the orgasm is when serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline are released in the brain.
Okay.
And that's the high that we get. And with taking serotonin, we can have that high continuously. We can think better, we can feel better, we can have a drive for life. You see, even in one single family, there are 3 kids. You see, one is depressed, one is happy, one is laughing all the time. The person who's happy and is laughing is high in serotonin and then high in dopamine and therefore high in noradrenaline. These people wake up happy, they're cheerful, they have a drive for life. And some people we see, they wake up and they want to go back to sleep. They just don't want to face what's out there. And that is a lack of serotonin. The SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the drugs that were so successful, like Paxil, Prozac, Effexor, all these serotonin reuptake inhibitors, they bind the brain receptors to metabolize serotonin. They are not generating serotonin. They stop the metabolism of serotonin. So for a very short period, the concentration of serotonin increases in the brain. But the problem is people get used to that amount.
Right.
And when they go back to the physician and they say, oh, I was so happy the first week, but the result is gone. Then they would increase the dose and increase the dose and increase the dose, and people will become addicted to the antidepressive drug medications. Whereas with eating turkey, or if you cannot eat a turkey every day, you can take 1 or 2 capsules of precursor to serotonin, and your brain will generate enough serotonin to make you happy, cheerful, and give you that drive for the day, the week, the month that you have a hectic schedule.
So I'm imagining you sell a lot of that. Is that it? You sell a lot of that?
It is a great product and it's going very, very well. Yes.
And if an adult was to use this, male or female, is it 1 a day?
I would start with 1. We don't want to promote too many capsules of anything. We all know that now we have to take a multivitamin, we have to take our CoQ10, so we don't want to take, 20 capsules a day. Whatever works is perfect. If 1 is enough and you're happy with 1, just take 1. If you feel like sometimes you need more, take 2, but not so many more.
So on your product with 5-HTP, the serotonin 5-HTP, if I take 1 right now, will I feel it in a half an hour? Will I feel it tomorrow? Will I feel anything kind of right away the first time?
Usually between 20 minutes to half hour, when the capsule is going through your stomach, through the intestine, and it opens right in the stomach. We only have 1 product, the Revitalize, that opens in the intestinal tract. It does not open in the stomach. But once it's gone there, the first 12 centimeters or the 4 inches of the intestine is where the compounds are getting absorbed. There's high activity. And right through there, it goes in the bloodstream. And with the blood, it goes to your brain. So within 20 minutes to half hour, you will start feeling happy. You will start feeling energized. And then continuously, as the product absorbs and it gets in the bloodstream, you will feel it for a longer period. Usually it's good for 12, 14, 16 hours and you can sleep with it. It's not keeping you awake, it's only keeping you happy. For staying awake, we have the caffeine, we have the green coffee bean that has the small amount of caffeine. And now that more people are using it, the feedback that I get is that they all get that energized feeling with green coffee bean.
which actually they're using for weight control.
They're using it for weight loss,
Weight loss.
yes, and appetite control. It works perfect. And the great thing about it is that as research continues, it is a better product. Sometimes, research comes up, okay, maybe this is not as good. But the great thing about all these products that we talked about, the more research we do, or the more research is done nationally and internationally, the better the results are. With green coffee bean, the advantage is that it burns sugar. And a lot of my clients, diabetic clients with high blood sugar, are calling and saying they're reducing their insulin, they're reducing their medication because green coffee bean, the anti-aging green coffee bean, is actually reducing their blood sugar level, and they don't need to take as much of the medication or inject as much insulin as they were prior to taking the green coffee bean.
Well, okay, that's very impressive. So at this juncture, what is your educational background?
I have a PhD in endocrinology, actually, from medical school in University of Newcastle in England. The PharmD degree is pharmacology, and that was, when was that? Long time ago, 1980. And the PhD actually was the reason I started this research work that I was doing on aging, why people age, because age on its own is not a disease. We all know that people age till 100. Now we have people who are living to be 105, 110, and they don't necessarily have to be ill or sick. With the research that I did, especially on coenzyme Q10, was when I started the Anti-Aging Institute, and then I became a member of the American Academy of Anti-Aging, and I took the board exam, and I'm board certified in anti-aging medicine with the American Academy of Anti-Aging. And that was, God, that was a long time ago. That was 1998, I believe.
All right. So your science background is excellent, and you want happy to tell the audience that the green coffee bean is not only good for weight control and weight loss, but actually is good for blood sugar, and so therefore could theoretically be good for longevity.
Definitely. We glycate as we age. We accumulate more sugar in the body. And that's where we have talked about A1C before. Hemoglobin A1C is a type of hemoglobin that binds to sugar. And I ask you, please, 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 when you go to do your checkup, your annual checkup or biannual checkup, ask your physician to do an A1C test for you. Your A1C result should be 5.6, not more than 5.6. If it's more than 5.6, you're borderline diabetic, and if it's around 6 or 6.2 or 7, and I've had clients with A1C of 15, and I was yelling and screaming in my office, you're killing yourself. Go get this reduced whichever way you can. A1C should be 5.6. If it is 5.6 at any age, you know that you're going to live longer because you're not getting glycated. If your A1C is higher, you are pre-diabetic, you are borderline diabetic, and of course with extra weight and people who are overweight, it is very easy to become diabetic. With the green coffee bean and with reversing and losing the extra weight, we can reverse diabetes. And I can say this very strongly because before, when I first started Anti-Aging Institute, FDA would not allow me to say we can reverse aging. They would say, no, we age and that's it. Now we know that we can reverse diabetes. And once we reverse diabetes, we have reversed aging. So we can easily today decide that if we want to become younger, we can become younger.
Well, Dr. Shora Shardy, once again, remarkable information. And how can we contact you?
Beforeyouage.com.
Beforeyouage.com.
My email is there, shora@beforeyouage.com. All the phone numbers are there. 310-858-7006 is the direct line. National, they can call 800-370-4080. That's the toll free.
Shora Shardy, thank you for being a guest today on Here's to Your Health. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. We've been speaking with Dr. Shora Shardy. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these important messages.
Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever-important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Hi, this is Susan Levin, owner and founder of Speaker Services, inviting you to join me and co-host Jean Noel Bassiar on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, for our new show, Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. We'll be talking to you about how to use your expertise to grow your business or service through speaking. Our expert speakers and author guests will share their stories and success secrets with you. Don't forget to tune in to Talk Up Your Business Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific. Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah!
Hi, I'm Jerry Bell of the Daz Band in New Birth.
And I'm Brahima Arsalan,
inviting you to join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics, baby.
Join us as we play some of the greatest hits of soul and R&B and listen in to interesting discussions with the legends of the music.
So don't you forget, join us on the Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics. You'll love it. Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio.
Or watch us and listen directly at latalklive.com, baby.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk, baby. We're music.
Hi, this is Julie Orlov, inviting you to join us every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our all-new show, Pathways to Love. Join us as we talk about love and relationships and how you can create the relationships you desire. So don't forget to tune in to Pathways to Love every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Joshua Lane, member of the board of directors of Dr. Ann Wigmore's Hippocrates Health Institute, Josh Lane was part of the Dr. Ann Wigmore team that brought wheatgrass, sprouts, and raw foods to a worldwide audience. And now the host of Here's to Your Health on LA Talk Live, Joshua Lane.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Joshua Lane. My next guest is John Schindler, who is the CEO of Omega Creamery. They were on before, and the products are fantastic. Not only do they taste fantastic, but the ingredients are very clean and fantastic. And so it's kind of guilt-free, excellent non-dairy ice creams and rice, hemp, and flax milks, which are now available everywhere. And John, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Josh. It's really a pleasure to be back.
And last time you were on, you mentioned that you guys have been only around, what, was it 6-7 months?
Oh, it was about a year.
Oh, yeah.
But we were only in a couple test stores for the first 6 months.
And now you're everywhere.
Well, we're in about 50 stores, but we're actually in the process right now of seeking the right investment partners to gear up and scale on a large scale across Southern California. We'd like to be in like 300 outlets within 10 months between Santa Barbara and San Diego.
So if George Soros is listening to the broadcast today, George should, kick in some money. And I think George likes to do progressive stuff. So what was the idea behind these non-dairy beverages?
Well, the idea was to create what we consider to be the first fully functional dairy alternative. The theme and our purpose is to create super nutritious products that are delicious and do not cause a lot of damage to the earth in the process of making them, as compared to the dairy industry or the soy industry.
Right. Well, that seems very fair. And my wife and I tried your ice creams, but of course they're non-dairy, and they were very good. They were very good tasting, and they sat lightly on the stomach, so to speak. I had no problem because I have a lot of allergies, etc. And I thought, oh my God, these are good. So, for example, on this Superberry, so what are the ingredients so my listeners know?
Well, it's made from the Omega milk, which is flax, rice, and hemp. And the products are all extremely low sugar, almost no added sugar. We have our own proprietary low glycemic sweetener, which is in the 8 to 11 range, which is extremely low. And so everything is extremely low sugar, superfood flavored, really, really high in omega-3s, anywhere from 4,500 milligrams to 2,500 milligrams a serving in the milk or ice cream.
Oh, that's a very good amount of omega-3.
Yeah, thank you. We have a four-corner nutrition system, which is based on good fats, low sugars, probiotics and enzymes, and superfood nutrients. And so the products are probiotic, particularly the ice creams are loaded with probiotics, and the kombucha sorbet has both the kombucha, which is a probiotic, and it has additional probiotics in it as well.
And the idea behind the probiotics was these are fun foods, but you want them to be nutritious and light. Is that it on the stomach?
We want them to promote good digestion and assimilation of the omega-3s and the other nutrients. And so the probiotics aid in the absorption of the minerals and the nutrients and overall help digestion. We've had quite a few write-in referrals where customers have said that they were on chemo or other sorts of health situations where they had digestion problems and that they experienced great relief. And but we still want to do our products so that we're the tastiest on the shelf as well.
Sure. Oh, sure.
And
Yeah, I tell you, when I did try them again, I thought, wow, these are going to be a monster hit. I really thought, oh, they're just fantastic taste and very good ingredients, which is a nice combination if you can do it.
Well, we're doing our best to do that, and it is our mission to not have to sacrifice flavor or taste and still have ultimate nutrition.
Mm-hmm. And what other flavor, for example, on this Royal Vanilla, what are the ingredients for my listeners?
Well, the raw vanilla has noni and kava kava and lucuma, and so it's kind of an anti-stress formula.
What are the formulations? What's in there again?
Kava kava and noni and lucuma. These are all known for being good for your nervous system and anti-stress. The superberry is loaded with antioxidants. Goji berry, elderberry, maki berry, acai,
wow,
raspberry and strawberry. The chocolate has suma and maca in it, and raw cacao.
Okay, so since you let me mentioning all these, we really should talk about what some of them do. So let's talk about maca, which I happen to enjoy and which I think has a great taste. What does maca do for me?
Maca is like a ginseng, and it's a vitality herb. It's good for your metabolism. It's good for your energy. It's good for your hormonal balance and your machismo. It gives you that little extra.
Machismo's nice.
Yeah, it's actually has been known to have a bit of an aphrodisiac kind of effect to it.
Yeah, and there are some foods that are considered aphrodisiac foods: oysters, garlic, onions, foods that tend to be rich in zinc. Maca, yes, yeah, and maca I think has a nice taste as well. And then you mentioned suma. What does suma do for me?
Suma is good for your endocrine system and your immunities, but it's also a vitality, elixir.
Mm-hmm. And noni?
Noni has the effect of first it has quite a few good vitamins in it, but noni is known for inducing calmness and helping stress.
Oh, I see.
Reverse stress.
I see. And you also, was it lucuma you mentioned?
Lucuma.
What does lucuma do for me?
Well, lucuma is just it's a high nutrient based fruit, and it adds to the flavor, and it also gives generally good nutrients.
And did you do the formulations on this? Did you have a team that did the formulations? Because really, these are progressive formulations. So what was the thinking behind that?
Well, I formulated the non-dairy base, the flax rice hemp milk, which then became the base of the ice cream. And then
So what's the base again?
Flax, rice, and hemp milk.
Flax, rice, and hemp.
Yeah.
So it's all non-dairy.
It's all plant-based, organic, vegan. So it's all the best ingredients. And then my co-founding partner, Ian Robertson, helped with the superfood flavorings, and he is quite the maestro of superfood flavors, and he's a gourmet whole food chef.
I see. And so we did these two flavors, and let's just talk about the other ones on the other side. So there's a lot of talk about kombucha. So does that give it a kind of a funny taste, or what does the kombucha taste like here?
Well, it actually gives it a really kind of nice, sparkling, clear, and crisp taste. We're not overpowering it with the kind of kombucha that some people have experienced that has a stronger taste. We're using green teas and hibiscus tea versus a black tea. And
green tea and hibiscus tea.
Right.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And we don't overly ferment it, and so it gives it a light, sparkling, clean, refreshing taste along with the passion fruit and the hibiscus. And it's a really good. It's our favorite for when it's really hot. It's a nice, refreshing dessert in the heat.
And once again, these Omega Creamery products. Where can I buy them here in Southern California?
Well, we're in about a dozen Whole Foods, Lassen's, Lazy Acre, Rainbow Acres, the co-ops, Jimbo's.
Okay, all the big stores.
Yeah, we're in the major natural food stores, and we intend on expanding more. All that information is available on our website, and if anybody sends an email, like George, who's listening,
that's right,
to
George
sales
Soros, that's
at
right.
Omega
George,
Creamery,
please.
I get it as well.
That's good.
And I wanted to mention the last flavor, since we talked about the other flavors, which is it's sort of like our mock pistachio, but it's hemp date nut, and that's our super green. And so that
hemp
has
date nut. Yeah, last time you were on, I thought to myself, that's a great combo.
It is. It's got chlorella, spirulina, blue-green algae, nettle, and barley grass, and hemp, dates, and pecans. And it tastes like pistachio, but it's just loaded with super greens.
The formulations, they seem very clever and very contemporary. It's interesting the way our thinking about food does change. I mean, you and I are in the food, we like food, we're in the food business. And it's interesting how you can affect people's opinion about food. I mean, people have probably never tried a hemp ice cream that tastes like pistachio, and yet when they try to think, oh my goodness, we like this. This is something new, they'll try it. For example, maca. Did anyone really use maca 10 years ago? Maybe a couple of guys, but no one. And now all of us know maca. All the runners, the cyclists, people use maca. They like maca. It's amazing how the world has evolved.
Well, I know even my own dietary habits. I absolutely adored dairy.
Right.
And it just started not to adore me so much. It was affecting my digestion, and it was sort of making me puffy and retain weight.
Which, by the way, I think does for many people. If I could drop a couple of names here. Michael Murray, I'm a big Michael Murray fan. Gary Null, big Gary Null fan. I believe both those authors, who have long track record, both those authors, I believe, write that they feel that 75% of the American population is sensitive and or allergic to cow's milk. And I repeat that number because I think it's probably an accurate number.
I think that is an accurate number. I've seen statistical information that it exceeds 65%. And so it's one of the reasons why I came up with the formulas was because I adore dairy and I wanted a really good dairy replacement. And I have naturally very high cholesterol. And so I use the omega-3s to keep my cholesterol down. And at 2,500 milligrams a serving, we're tenfold most omega-3 rich foods.
You certainly are. Yeah, it's a remarkably high amount of omega-3. It's very good for a person. Very good for a person. So the milks too. These are for kids, for parents, for grandparents, just for everybody.
Children, people, even people on chemo and everything can really get benefit from it. And it's delicious, and it will help you to stay trim and fit, keep your arteries clear, keep your joints more flexible. The ingredients are all known for having these qualities.
Well, that sounds good. And what are you working on now besides getting George Soros to come in? What are you working on?
Well, we're working on our expansion plan across Southern California. We're also developing more flavors and other products that complement this line. But first, we're going to stick to our core product line and get it across Southern California. And then we'll introduce some new flavors and some super drinks and some other things like this.
Well, John from Omega Creamery, thank you for being a guest today on Here's to Your Health. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you,
It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
You've been listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Larissa Stowe, so please stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm your host, Ferran Dozier. I'm inviting you to join me on WDC Radio every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as we discuss community topics around health, sports, and entertainment. So don't forget to shout us out. What's the count? On WDC Radio, only on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. What's the count?
Hi, this is Dawn Christie inviting you to join me every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, for my all-new show, The Dawn Christie Show. Join me as I discuss love, spiritual readings, your purpose, why am I born, what am I here to do. So don't forget to tune in The Dawn Christie Show at 1 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Walk, run, climb, play. Solgar number 7 can help. Feel the difference for yourself. Solgar number 7 actually shows improvement in joint comfort within 7 days. Now you can start to get back on track fast and pursue the activities you love. Solgar number 7 is a breakthrough in joint care with no glucosamine and no chondroitin. The advanced bioactives in Solgar number 7 help to increase flexibility, mobility, range of motion, and actually shows improvement within just 7 days. One capsule, once a day, is all you need. When stiff joints occasionally say no, Solgar number 7 says yes. Visit Solgar.com and learn more about Solgar number 7 today. That's www.solgar.com, www.solgar.com. Solgar number 7, official sponsors of Here's to Your Health with Josh Lane and LA Talk Live.
Hello world, how you living? This is D Brex, your host of the all-new rap project here on LA Talk Live. That's latalklive.com, or you can find me on iTunes Radio in the R&B section. That's the rap project every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. West Coast time, so don't be late. On the Rap Project, I will be playing the very best of rap and hip-hop that goes beyond the ordinary. So connect with me, your host, D-Brax, the rap connoisseur, on the Rap Project every Wednesday at 7, right here on latalklive.com, where we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our new show, Gospel Rhythms Talk Live. Join us as we celebrate, promote, and elevate Christians and Christians in entertainment. So don't forget to tune in to Gospel Rhythms Talk Live exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio under R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is Gospel Rhythms on LA Talk Live, where we don't just talk about it, we are about it.
This is Brett Chapin.
And this is Dorothy Dillingham Blue, inviting you to join us every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time for our show, La La Land Talk.
Join us as we talk with some of the top talent in LA. Artists' untold stories, your phone calls, and live on-location broadcasts have made La La Land one of the best sources in LA for everything entertainment.
So don't forget to tune in to La La Land Talk.
Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com.
Saturdays at noon Pacific Time. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk. I think we've got a Shakespeare monologue or two we could do. Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Kickball change.
Good
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
I'll do some Pippin.
Ooh, yeah. Some miming. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box.
Y'all ready for this?
Hi, I'm Jerry Bell of the Daz Band in New Birth.
And I'm Brahima Arsalan.
Inviting you to join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics, baby.
Join us as we play some of the greatest hits of soul and R&B and listen in to interesting discussions with the legends of the music.
So don't you forget, join us on the Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics. You'll love it. Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio.
Or watch us and listen directly at latalklive.com, baby.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk, baby. We are music.
Joshua Lane, member of the board of directors of Dr. Ann Wigmore's Hippocrates Health Institute, Josh Lane was part of the Dr. Ann Wigmore team that brought wheatgrass, sprouts, and raw foods to a worldwide audience. And now the host of Here's to Your Health on LA Talk Live, Joshua Lane.
Okay.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. So for this edition of Here's to Your Health, I have some of the Bhakti Fest musicians who will be playing out in Joshua Tree September 5th through the 8th. Larissa Stowe, and Kimo Estorez are musicians who play curtain music, devotional spiritual music. Welcome to the show. I leave it up to you. Just take it.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you, Josh. So, I think we're gonna hop into. Let's play Kali Kaye. We do. We have Deepak, which I was just thinking about. He will be on camera, right? Come on in. Come on in. Yes.
So for those of you just tuning in, the band is tuning up here, and the band will be ready. This is not a mime show, so we have to,
So we're going to be playing Kali Kaye, and Kali is an energy that lives within us that cuts through that which no longer works for us, cuts through illusion, and brings forth even more compassion in life. So when we sing out to this, we're brewing it within ourselves. We're starting to call that forth within ourselves, that aspect that says, okay, that which is in the highest alignment with who I am in this moment, it is time. It is time to come through. So we sing this, calling that forth for ourselves and for the planet.
Shakti Kundalini Ma, 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 Shakti Kundalini Ma. Om Kri Kali Shakti Kundalini Ma, 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 Shakti Kundalini Ma.
Kimo and Deepak, thank you very much. Kimo, do me a favor. So, what was that song about? And tell me.
I think that Lisa might be the better person to tell about that. What the song is about. She's the wordsmith.
So that was that in what language was that?
That was in Sanskrit.
That was in Sanskrit. Mm-hmm. So I really do not read or speak Sanskrit, so So what was the title of that, and what's the importance?
That is Kali Kaye, and Kali, as I was saying earlier, is she is pure, raw, Kundalini, Shakti, Ma, energy. She is like the energy that pervades everything, and it's wild. It's the energy that's within us that sometimes causes chaos to create a higher order. You know, like if you have a house that's falling apart, and
as we speak. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's that energy is like, okay, let's take that house down so that we can build something that is in higher alignment, that is more beautiful, that is more expressive of who we are. So sometimes it appears that your whole world may be falling apart. Like when we're going through things that are really intense in our life. Sometimes it can feel like that, like things aren't actually working, that they're like just like that. But in actuality, you know, if we were to go and look in the eagle eye view, so to speak, we would be able to see that something bigger was happening, that things are falling down and things are breaking apart to be built to come into a higher order of being. So this energy is very raw, and it's very much of the divine feminine.
And so you're a musician, and you're going to be playing at Bhakti Fest at Joshua Tree, September 5th to the 8th, and I was viewing some of your videos, and I see that you play many festivals. So is this music that you just decided at one point, oh, I just really like this music, as opposed to music maybe you played when you were 15 or 16, and now you're thinking, no, I'm interested more in this music? Is that what happened?
Well, kind of, but it happened over time. Like, to begin with, I've been doing yoga for a really long time, and I love yoga, and I love the practice of yoga. And I started seeing that mantra worked really well with yoga, and I love sound, sacred sound. So in that love for sacred sound, and in the love for opening even more to my true self, I started working with it. But it wasn't until after 9/11 that everything changed for me, because I'd been doing full-on pop rock out in the club scene and doing festivals, and that with, you know, what you would expect more of mainstream singer-songwriter pop rock.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then with 9/11, the whole world changed. And it wasn't that at that point in time, it wasn't like I thought, well, now I must do this kind of music. It was more at that time in my life, I needed to look to something to help me to go more inward and to stay in my own light and to stay in my heart, rather than succumbing to all the fear that I was experiencing at the time. So I started working more with mantra, and actually also working with peace prayers.
What is mantra?
Mantra is in Sanskrit. We do mantras like Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha is a mantra, and it is a specific formula called, there's seed sounds in there, which it's all about vibration, and all about raising your vibration. So mantra, there's specific formulas that raise your vibration and that help bring you into alignment, that help to heal, to elevate your energy.
So they're prayers? I see.
And they're really powerful, because you don't have to, you're not in your mind, you know, so to speak, when you're doing these. Because we don't understand them necessarily, they're not all about meaning, they're more about vibration. So you can just give yourself to the vibration of the mantra. And when we do mantra, we usually do them like 108 times. In kirtan, it's different, you know, because we're doing something that's call and response, or we're doing more of a japa, which is a repetitive with everybody.
Excuse me, definition of kirtan.
Very good. Kirtan is call and response. It just literally means call and response, and
so it's
a
gospel
practice.
Music. It's call and response.
Yeah.
It's call and response. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Kind of a universal call and response. For people who think kirtan, they don't know what that means. Just call and response.
It's call and response, and it originated in India with Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and at that time, it was about 500 years ago, when at that time the average, you know, person in society didn't specifically didn't have really access to singing these mantras, and to go into devotion in that way. It was kept more for the Brahmins and more for prayer. Ritual called pujas, which is, if you were to think of, a prayer ritual here with priests, let's say, where the priest could only do it.
Priestly caste.
So, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who's a rebel, and in the sense that he believed that everyone should have the right to sing these mantras, so he brought it to the streets, he brought it to the people. And in doing so, he got a lot of pushback, and like most people do when they're pioneering and blazing a new trail, right? And he brought it to the people, and people just went nuts and wild because they could have their own experience, their own direct experience of the divine through doing mantra.
All right. So
that's powerful.
Play us something else you like very much. Play something else.
All right. Actually, let's play Amma. You want to play Amma?
This is the first song that Larissa and I actually wrote together.
So this is Larissa and Kimo and Deepak. And what's the name of the song?
Amma.
Amma. Okay.
And we love Deepak. Deepak has his own group called Breath of Life Tribe. We're very blessed to have him sitting with us. Amma is about unconditional love. His divine mother, just love. Jai, 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 Jagadamba, Amma, Amma, Jai, 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 Jagadamba.
Very nice. That was very nice. That was very nice. We have just a few minutes left. I'd like to hold you over for another set, if you don't mind. So this is bhakti, meaning it's devotional music. Is that what it is? It's devotional music, and that's one of the branches of yoga?
Yes. Yes, bhakti yoga.
Yeah.
It's pure devotion. It's all about allowing yourself to completely merge, to have a direct experience. So people who are on the path of bhakti yoga are on the path of direct experience with the divine and just, opening up to that and merging with that within themselves.
Okay, great. So musicians will be here. This is Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live Network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these important messages.
Young Connection, your one-stop connection for all your graphic design and commercial printing needs. Young Connection is a full-service printing and media design company dedicated to providing the highest level of customer service and satisfaction. Young Connection provides swift response and rapid turnaround services for banners, brochures, business cards, letterheads, church bulletins, funeral programs, flyers, logo design, posters, and much, much more, all at an affordable price. Young Connection, the official printing company of LA Talk Live. Give them a call at 310-491-3336. That's 310-491-3336, or visit their website at www.youngconnection.com. That's www.youngconnection.com. Young Connection Printing and Media Services, proud sponsors of LA Talk Live, where it's more than just talk. Are you ready to enjoy the Maui lifestyle? You can have it all by owning real estate on the Paradise Island of Maui. Dennis Rush, a 22-year Maui resident and real estate broker, brings his wealth of experience and market knowledge to add value to your Maui real estate understanding, providing a level of service as unique and exceptional as the island of Maui itself. The magical island of Maui was voted the most exclusive resort island in the world by Condé Nast Traveler, and keep in mind, Maui is only a simple, non-stop flight away. Hawaii Business Magazine Top 100 Realtors awarded Dennis Rush the 2011 fourth top realtor on the island of Maui. Go to www.dennisrush.com to view all of the amazing properties currently available in the Maui MLS system. Whatever your needs or desires, Dennis Rush will provide a private consultation for any Maui properties your heart desires. You will be in good hands. Once again, go to www.dennisrush.com. That's www.dennisrush.com. Contact Dennis today to start your Maui lifestyle now. Dennis Rush, proud sponsors of the Dawn Christie Show and LA Talk Live.
Joshua Lane, member of the board of directors of Dr. Ann Wigmore's Hippocrates Health Institute, Josh Lane was part of the Dr. Ann Wigmore team that brought wheatgrass, sprouts, and raw foods to a worldwide audience. And now the host of Here's to Your Health on LA Talk Live, Joshua Lane.
We're back. You're listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. The musicians are setting up, and my friend Tony Camacho is here now. Tony's been on before with Whole Person Magazine. And Tony also has the Gateway, which is a center for growth and wellness in West LA. Tony, welcome to Here's to Your Health.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here
Happy to
and
have you here.
an honor to
Thank you.
take these few
Listening
minutes
to
with
some
you.
very good music.
Oh, indeed. I just want to say the musicians were absolutely fantastic. I could feel my Kundalini energy rising.
That's
I thought it was
very
going
good.
to blow off the top of my head.
That's very good.
That's how excited
they're,
I was.
they're doing
They
a
were
good job
amazing.
then. They're doing a good
Yes,
job.
indeed.
And you're involved with wellness. You have the Whole Person Magazine, correct?
Yes, correct.
And also you have the Gateway Center. And at Gateway, you do a variety of modalities. Is that it?
Yes, the Gateway is a bricks and mortar building. We have a bunch of practitioners, holistic practitioners. And I'll just name a couple of them.
Sure.
I mean, we have a chiropractor, we have an acupuncturist, we have a speech therapist, clinical therapist. We have a medical doctor who's also a palm reader and an energy person, a master
Oh,
CEO.
really? A medical physician?
Who does a palm reading. Yes, quite remarkable. And a couple of other people. I mean, it's a whole host of people. And we're upstairs. And then downstairs, we have a space where we have ongoing workshops virtually every day. And the workshops are such that are about different healing modalities. They're about ways of raising consciousness, of becoming more aware, of becoming more whole, of becoming more of who we're destined to be. That's how I define it. And, it's interesting hearing the musicians because it was really the whole purpose at some rudimentary level is about connecting with our divinity, of getting to that space. So that's the Gateway.
And what brought you to this position of having the Gateway Center and the magazine? So what is it that brought you to that?
Well, it's a great question. I chuckle when you ask me that question because it was a very organic process. It just kind of happened. It was never a situation where I consciously made a choice to do this. It just kind of, the door just kind of opened and I kind of gently stepped in and here I am. And the thing that's exciting about being connected to the Gateway today is coming up in just a little bit. We're opening up a little metaphysical bookstore. And so the metaphysical bookstore will be a gift store, a little tea coffee bar, and it'll have the typical products, the books, the jewelry, the crystals,
Sure.
and all the other sundry items. And so that's going to be happening the 15th of next month. We'll have a big grand opening. And so we want to invite any of the listeners who are here to come on down and participate. We'll have a bunch of different people participating, some book signings, some music, and so forth. So it'll just be a fun day.
And where is the center?
The
and bookstore?
center is in West LA. It's on the corner of Barrington and Gateway, 2511 South Barrington, West LA 90064.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And the bookstore is going to be in with the center.
Yes. So the building, we have the bookstore in the front towards of the building, and in the back we have the event space, and upstairs we have the offices for the practitioners. And then eventually we'd like to take more space in the building. Eventually at some point open up a restaurant that would mirror the kind of services that maybe the Cafe Gratitude has. So it would be exciting.
Cafe Gratitude is fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's fun. I've actually eaten there and I thought, oh my goodness, it was fun actually. And the food was very good.
Food was very good. I've gone as well. But what I love the idea that what they've done is they train those people. I mean, they spent a fair amount of time with each of the servers.
Oh, I see.
And how to deal with customers. And they do it in a very unique, very brilliant way. And so I like that idea. And I like the idea of just bringing more consciousness, a more nurturing quality, a more loving presence in that environment. So a little food, a little love, and it's a nice combo.
Yeah, and I thought the food was inventive. I thought it was very inventive. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked the waitstaff. I noticed that everything was in white, and I was thinking, oh, this must be the new fashionable color. I noticed the waitstaff was in white, and the place was shades of white, and I thought that worked for me. And I thought, oh, it seemed very, very modern, really. In some respect, I thought, oh, this because it's still retailing, right?
Sure.
Because you're still selling someone
Absolutely.
a good or a service, and so it's progressive, but it's still retailing. And I thought, oh, it seems very clever. It seems nicely done, and it seemed to work. It worked for me, and I'm a tough customer. And I also noticed that the place was packed, so obviously it worked for a lot of people.
Yeah, they seem to be doing very well. And the whole issue with the white. I mean, there's a kind of purity in the white. I mean, there's a clearness to it. It reminds me, as we're talking about white, I was visiting some years ago. I was down in Brazil. I was visiting John of God. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I have heard of him, yes.
And so one of the protocols is they ask everyone to be in white. So they have a lot of people coming there, and it's very surrealistic as people are all walking down the street, and they're all in white. It was like, oh, very strange.
So it was kind of fun too.
It was a lot of fun. It was very powerful. Yeah, not as much fun as the new Gateway store will be, though.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
And is there any particular modality that you were really surprised how well it worked, that that you may personally use it, you thought, oh my goodness, this really helped me?
That's a great question. I've been very blessed, very fortunate to be in that environment, and as a result of being there, I've been the recipient of many modalities, and I think we're all unique. And so I think from talking to people and my own personal experiences, is that some modalities are very powerful. They may be for you, they may be less for me. So they're all fantastic, and so I don't like to label one better than the other, because I just see them having their own gifts. It would be like hearing a musician or a singer, and they all have a talent, and they're all bringing it to the table. And I'm just grateful that they come and do.
Because when you were here before, I commented that you look very fit.
Yeah.
And you still look very fit.
I didn't change. I like that.
and obviously, it's one thing to be 20 and look fit. You're 20. But when you're no longer 20 and you look fit, obviously it requires a tiny amount of work and understanding, and then really you function trouble-free. So would you say that you really go out of your way to take care of yourself?
I would say I go out of my way. I would say that I, at some level, apply a kind of consciousness to the way I live, to the way I treat myself. And I also would say, in that same expression, is that there is a lot of room to do a lot more for myself.
As far as learning more to take care, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. And this physician who reads palms.
Yes.
Do you want to mention that name?
Dr. Sarah Larson. I'm happy
Sarah
to.
Larson.
Oh, she's a beautiful spirit, beautiful woman, and she's quite remarkable.
Actually, Sarah Larson was on this show. We
Yeah,
had her on this show.
yes, correct. And so you got the opportunity to meet her. She's wonderful.
And what is an interesting combination to be a physician and to be a palm reader. I think most physicians would maybe keep that to themselves because the world being what it is, people think, oh my goodness, people are dismissive of new ideas.
Absolutely, and it's, as you bring it up, it's one of the things I like sharing is that, we have a person at our space who's a medical doctor who does palm reading, and I get a chuckle out of people's expression. Wait, she's a medical doctor and she does palm reading? Yes, she does. Yeah, it's an enormously powerful process, and I don't know if you had that experience with her, but it's quite amazing, the information that comes from your hand. Yeah.
Actually, I once had someone read my palm years ago, and I thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Accurate, and I thought, oh my goodness. So it's impressive, some of the things that are available that we might, lacking information, think, oh my God, that's just whatever. I'm not interested in that. And then you realize, oh no, that's accurate information. It's just out of your realm of expertise. And then, of course, it becomes part of your repertoire, because you realize, oh my goodness, I was wrong about that again. I see that this is good for me to know this.
Exactly, it's very true. So that's one of the benefits, and that's one of the aspects that we offer, in a sense, is that we have these ongoing workshops. Some of them feature different healing modalities. Some of them are intros to different ways of doing things. So in a way, I mean, as long as we kind of remain open, we don't necessarily have to embrace it. We don't have to clutch it with both hands. But if we can just kind of come in and get a taste of it, if you will, and what resonates with you, hopefully you'll come back and you'll experience, because there's just a plethora of things out there, and they're all so amazing, and we're amazing. And I say that, every one of us, we're divine beings, and it's really kind of just accessing that part of us, because I would say all healing is self-healing. No matter how magical and how skillful somebody is, it's really you. And what I mean by that is you're the one who opened the door, you're the one who plopped in the chair, you're the one who laid on the massage table or whatever it might be, and you were open to a healing which allowed that process to come forward for you.
Nicely said. Nicely said.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Once again, give us your contact information for your center in West LA.
So the center is, again, West LA, 2511 South Barrington Avenue, corner Barrington and Gateway, 90064. New store will be opening on the 15th.
15th of September.
I'm at a loss for the date. We're in August.
We're in August.
September the 15th. Correct.
Very good, yeah.
I am so juggling so many things. The dates sometimes come and go with me.
For sure, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
And also, can I mention this? You are the publisher of Whole Person Magazine?
I am. Yes, correct.
And Whole Person Magazine, which I've always found fun, and I always look through it and I think, oh my goodness, a lot of good stuff is going on.
Yeah.
And where can I pick up copies of that?
You can pick copies of that magazine up at about 500 different locations
Right.
all over Southern
Right.
California, from Santa Barbara all the way down to Laguna Hills. And just on that note, just to mention a small brief word about the Whole Person, we're ambitious. We're looking to grow it. We are growing it. We're looking for writers. Anybody out there looking to do a story? We're looking for stories of redemption, stories of transformation, and stories of who's your local hero. So if that piques your interest and you're an aspiring individual looking to write, or you're a seasoned writer, send us something. We'd love to put it in the magazine. And we'd love to kind of infuse the magazine with a bit of you, and you being the audience out there. So please connect with us. We'd appreciate that.
Well, Tony Camacho, thank you very much for being a guest today on Here's to Your Health. Thank you very much.
My pleasure again. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these important messages.
Hi, this is Jean Noel Bassior, inviting you to join me for my new show, The Book Beat, Monday evenings at 6:30 p.m. I'll be talking to authors about their latest book so you can find a fantastic read. But more than that, I'll be talking to experts about how you can write your own book and get it published. So tune in on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. exclusively on latalklive.com. And remember, you can catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
This is Brett Chapin.
And this is Dorothy Dillingham Blue, inviting you to join us every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time for our show, La La Land Talk.
Join us as we talk with some of the top talent in LA. Artists' untold stories, your phone calls, and live on-location broadcasts have made La La Land one of the best sources in LA for everything entertainment.
So don't forget to tune in to La La Land Talk.
Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com.
Saturdays at noon Pacific Time. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk. I think we've got a Shakespeare monologue or two we could do. Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Kickball change.
Good
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
I'll do some Pippin.
Ooh, yeah. Some miming. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box.
We're back. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane, and we are bringing the musicians back. Larissa, Kimo, and Deepak will be playing for us, and they're also playing this in a couple of weeks at the Bhakti Fest in Joshua Tree, California, the September 5th to the 8th, and they've got a great sound, and take it away. I get to say that on camera. It's nice. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, my name's Deepak, and I'm gonna play a couple songs from. I have a few different bands actually. One of them is called Breath of Life Tribe, which will be playing at Bhakti Fest with Larissa and Shakti Tribe. We're all a bunch of so many bands at this festival, and it's a really fun festival. So many musicians from all over the world get to come there and play throughout the weekend. 2 different stages, really great yoga teachers and workshops and all that. So so one of the bands I have is Breath of Life Tribe, which will be playing there. I have 2 other bands. One's called The Bolt, and the other one's called Music with Robots. And I'm going to play a song from the new project, Music with Robots, right now first, and then we'll go into a Breath of Life.
And Deepak,
Tribe song.
before you begin to play, so
Yes.
Are you classically trained?
Yes, I'm a violinist first and a singer first, and then I picked up writing on the piano and the guitar after that.
And where do you study violin?
I studied on the East Coast in Maryland, as well as I studied Indian classical violin in India, and I studied classical Western violin under the Suzuki method in Maryland, where I grew up.
Suzuki method as a very young child?
Yeah, as I started when I was 4.
Your parents musicians?
Yeah, my mom's a classical singer, and my dad plays the veena, which is an Indian instrument, which is like a South Indian style sitar.
And you do classical music?
Yeah,
and you do pop music. You just love music.
I'm a producer, so I do a lot of different kinds of music. Whatever comes my way, I produce. For clients. But as far as my own music, it's all over the place. I have electronic music projects. I have a dance music project, as well as a rock band, a pop sort of electronic band, and also a kirtan fusion band. So they're all different bands that I sort of play in and run.
And kirtan fusion is just kind of people take this traditional music and they filter it to their own experience. Is that it? It's just,
exactly. That's the thing about this festival that's coming up is everyone has their own expression of this kirtan, which originally is just the traditional form of very meditative music from India, but we get to express it in this new way here with so many different genres mixed with this music, and it makes it more interesting and fresh for this Western audience especially.
Right.
It's very different than what you'd find in traditional kirtan in India.
Right. So in India, would they look at you and think, what are the Americans doing? What do they say, really?
Some might wonder, and the other might be very inspired and intrigued because with cross culture, people all over the world are really interested in in learning different things. In India, they're really interested in Western culture, just the same as, oddly enough, we're here very interested in the Indian culture. And it's all the world is connecting more and more with the internet, and things are so much faster these days that
they really are.
Instant cultural connections and co-creation happening everywhere.
And so, and later today, you're doing session work in Malibu?
Yeah, I actually produce and have a studio in Malibu, and I've got a client coming up, a singer-songwriter girl that I'm producing a song for. We're doing it for a movie that should be coming out next year, a feature film produced by the same producer as Walk the Line.
Huh?
So that's a pretty fun thing to do.
It sounds very good. So what are you gonna play for us?
First, I'm gonna play a song called King of the Moment. And I think that's appropriate for what we're doing with the festival. King of the Moment being just sort of conscious lyrics within a pop setting, because it's not just about, in my opinion, preaching to the masses, but hitting, preaching to the choir, but hitting the masses with this type of energy and vibration. As Liz was talking about it, that it's all vibration. And if we can get this vibration to billions of people, that's sort of a good goal, I think.
Sounds good. So please.
wanna believe in now. Don't you know what you're feeling? Haven't you had enough? Pain without reason why. Love sold as treason cries. We can all see you bleeding for freedom. Don't wanna see another battlefield for the chosen ones. Another bed of ashes for the missing ones who came to God's corner with a loaded gun. Was it for nothing? And now it's up to you. Take a wild heart in a holy hand. Sing it to your bones. It's not the real thing, don't you know? We can't always stand for nothing, no, and go sailing into the sun. Yeah, so choose all your colors and you put them on. We'll see who you are when you're standing strong. A king of the moment honors everyone. I honor everyone. And now it's up to you. Take a wild heart in a holy hand. Sing it to your bones. It's not the real thing, let it go. It's not the real thing, don't you know? It's not the real thing, let it go. It's not the real thing, don't you know? When you find it, don't deny it, 'cause it's always been your story. Turn and face it, can you make it? Take a chance now, this is who we are. When you find it, don't deny it, 'cause it's always been your story. Turn and face it, can you make it? Take a chance now, this is who we are. King of the moment honors everyone. I honor everyone.
And how would you characterize that? Is that just
Hi, this is
contemporary sound?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of pop, rock, indie, I guess, if there's genres. You know, the genres these days, I think they'll be kind of like that, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Pop, rock, indie, indie rock, Coldplay-ish, but sort of a little more indie. I don't know.
And
genres are always hard for the artist to do. It's better for the manager to handle that.
And your mom and dad, do your mom and dad listen to your music and think, what happened to Suzuki? What do your mom and dad think?
They love it.
They do.
They love all the different expressions of the music, you know, because, I mean, especially when we're going to play some kirtan in a minute, and they're loving that because, you know, I grew up with a very traditional background as well as growing up in the States. I grew up here. I was born in Maryland, but I come from, as we were talking about Brahmins earlier, I come from a very traditional Brahmin family. Brahmin being the priest class, as we talked about. My father, you know, even this morning, as the irony of it is called Upakarma, which is the full moon, which is the day that we change our sacred thread. Which is, so as of about 4 hours ago, I was in ceremony putting on a new, fresh thread. Literally this morning, I woke up at 6 and did, you know, 1,008 Gayatri Mantras before coming here, which I'll tell you about the Gayatri Mantra as well later. I was planning on doing that as well. So it's an interesting mix. My parents are loving seeing the fact that what they taught me is being kept alive, but also morphing and being shared. You know, and they respect that, and They like that because a lot of my other cousins are, a lot of people I know of my age and Indians have grown up in this country and have, given up a lot of their traditions and been like, oh, we don't want India, this crazy stuff. We want to we're just American. We're not Indian. We're not Hindu. None of that. And that my parents are excited that I've kept that, tradition alive from generations.
Sure. Because there was certain pressure from one generation to the next.
Yeah.
As far as fighting about ideas.
I think part of it is that my parents never pressured me. I know other cousins of mine have confided to me that they've been pressured, to do certain rituals and things like that, and not understand why they're doing it. My dad always was really gentle about it and taught and allowed me to run off and for years do my own thing and I did my rebellion thing when I was a teenager in college, and then ended up coming back and recognizing the value and that it had brought me at a young age that was so subtle that I didn't even realize that it made me a very focused person. All these types of things that we do, yoga and chanting, it's subtle. It's not like, you go to the gym and you feel something right away when you're chanting. You might feel relaxed right away, you might not, but you might notice in a year of consistency, you might see subtle changes that are starting to become not so subtle anymore because of the faith of just doing it and just allowing whatever results to happen to surface whenever they need to surface.
Right. Sure, yes. Good point.
So, and I felt that, that's things I did when I was 4 or 5 years old that I look back and I'm like, oh, that's maybe why I see things and understand math and physics this is the way I do, because my dad taught me things when I was really young that I don't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, because I was too young to even talk about it.
Yeah, I've always thought that musicians are usually probably very good at math. They just really kind of get that. It's very abstract, isn't it?
Math and music are definitely very related.
I think so.
For sure.
I think so.
I love math.
Do me a favor, play something you like.
So I'm going to do now something from Breath of Life Tribe, appropriate to the festival we're discussing, Bhakti Fest. So this is in the vein of Kirtan, the call and response. And so we're going to play together a chant called Jai Jai Shiva Shambho, and this is to Lord Shiva. And Shiva represents the divine dance, the cosmic dance, which is the balance between the permanent and the impermanent. And recognizing, there's things that are permanent and there's things that are impermanent. Like our cells are constantly dying and being reborn within 7 years, but then there's a sort of underlying ness, a spirit that's forever, that's permanent. And that balance, that dance is Shiva. Which is destruction and creation cycle. So we'll do that, which is very easy for all you people back home on the radio to sing along with, and it's very simple. Jai Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Jai Shiva Shambho. Shambho, Jai Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Jai Shiva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambho. Deva Shambho, Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Shiva Shambho, Jai Shiva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Hara Mahadeva Shambho, So we balanced out the Shiva with the Shakti, which is the divine feminine, the Ma, the mother, the earth, which represents being supported. We remember that we have the ground under us at all moments, then we can always feel supported and grateful in every moment. And that's Ma, Durga Ma, Shakti Ma. Jai Ma, Durga 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 Ma. Jai Ma,
That was very, very nice. That was very nice. So that was devotional music, modern. Is that it?
Yeah, like, kind of, it's got the traditional melody mixed in with a little bit of an original, melody on certain parts, and then some funky Ma, which is that earthy mother, the female energy, which is really powerful.
Yeah, nice, very nice sound. Very nice sound, really. Are people who are religious, if they heard that, they would think, we like it? Is the response been pretty good, or?
I mean,
people mad at you.
I mean, everybody's different, so I think a lot of people are enjoying this music. There's enough people to be having a sustainable festival with a lot of artists from all over the world coming and enjoying so many different kinds of amazing kirtan expressions.
Is this your first time at the Bhakti Fest?
No, I mean, I think all of us have been there since from the beginning. First
year.
It's the fifth anniversary this year, 5th annual.
Right. So it's really only 5 years. So actually, it's pretty new, isn't it?
It's relatively new on this level.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's growing.
It's growing rapidly. Yoga is growing, and as yoga grows, kirtan grows in terms of the mainstream knowledge, because they do go together.
Yeah, and Bhakti Fest now has Shakti Fest, which is like a
spring.
Later, and then there's the
now there's a Midwest, and now they're starting an East Coast one just of this festival, and there's so many other festivals out there too that are popping up all over the world, in Europe and Australia and places that are honoring the yoga and the Bhakti tradition.
And some of the traditional people that we've run across, they've been really actually grateful that us, bringing like Western music sensibility to this very traditional art, art form. They're very happy because they realize that their children are not necessarily embracing the old ways.
The old ways, yeah.
And they're very happy that
we're making it cool and hip for the young ones to keep.
No, exactly. Yeah, the young ones. I think, oh my goodness, maybe this is not so terrible.
Yeah, our parents, blah,
not
blah,
embarrassed by their
this
parents.
This is kind of cool.
Right.
Exactly.
We're down. We can hit the youth and the adults appreciate this. It's an amazing thing because you have people of all ages loving this kind of music. There's children spinning around and dancing, and there's grandmothers in the same exact. It's one of the few musics. There's lots of music out there, and this is one of the genres where all ages are included.
It's very ecstatic.
Yes.
And it is growing. Like we continue to see this just like, and it wasn't that long ago that yoga really came to the United States. So to see this movement happening, that it's only going to get bigger because it's so much about the heart.
Yes, yoga is really, people like it. They find it works for them, and it's really growing. It's impressive actually how much it is growing, and I can say it's only a good thing. People have stopped making fun of yoga years ago. They just stopped making fun of it years ago, quite frankly.
Exactly. And the yoga, in the sense that people know, most mainstream people think of yoga as stretching and breathing, but the yoga, the word itself just means practice. That's the literal translation, is practice, and there's lots of translations too. And so just understanding that this is bhakti yoga, which is specifically devotional yoga, and there's jnana yoga, which is knowledge yoga, and karma yoga, which is action yoga, which is being, and all these different practices are what lead to that centered place, which really that's the goal of anything. If you're listening to music or watching a movie, it's just to feel like you're in the moment. That's what we do anything.
Yes.
We're playing tennis or anything. And so jumping out of a plane, which I've done many times, by the way. I used to do that every weekend.
So in other words,
just to be in the moment.
So be in the moment, and therefore you're at your happiest. Is that it, theoretically?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I mean, you're in your present because you're not distracted by things of the past or things in the future that haven't come yet. You're just being here, you're being present, you're being in the now, and you're feeling fully complete because you're not looking to go anywhere else but where you are in this right now, which is the perfect place to be.
Yeah, that sounds like perfect, yeah.
To go along with what you said earlier about the gradual cumulative effectiveness, I know that after a year of doing mantra, I was, my mind cleared. There's like a lot of like extra voices that I had in my head. I don't know if you guys do. I got a bunch of voices.
I think we all do.
And they kind of disappeared. I noticed, like when we would be doing lots of mantra on the road, I noticed it's like not only did my head clear up, the road cleared up. That's some extra magical effects.
Okay, great. Can we do have time for one more song?
We can do a short Gayatri mantra that we were talking about earlier.
Certainly, whatever you enjoy, sure.
So, just in the honor of today's special day, Upakarma, which I was mentioning earlier, is the special day of the full moon in this month of August in the Brahmin tradition, where we change our sacred thread, which is a thread that the priest class wears to signify that they've come of age, like a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, into the age of carrying this knowledge and calling in the great spirits beyond ourselves. So there's this mantra, as we learned what the word mantra is, which is a chant or a prayer in the Sanskrit language, called the Gayatri mantra, which comes from this ancient text called the Vedas, which are tens of thousands of stanzas long of knowledge that carries a lot of the wisdom that's in the yoga, in Ayurveda. Ayurveda being the science of life, which is a lot of the medical aspect of some of the yoga tradition, diet and sleep habits and all that. And it's all carried in this philosophy in this Vedas. And there's one chant from the entire Vedas that is said to encompass the entire knowledge of all the Vedas, which is this mantra called the Gayatri mantra. It's a very, very deep-rooted, powerful mantra, and it translates literally to surrendering to the great spirits divine, the three worlds, the 7 layers of consciousness. It's just recognizing how great this thing is beyond us. And that's what all these chants really do, is we're just saying in multiple ways how great there is this something beyond us, and that we respect it and honor it, and that it is flowing through us and connecting all of us into oneness. So that's what this mantra, I would say, means in this moment to me.
देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं
Thank you very much. That was very nice. Very
Shanti
nice.
means peace.
Very
So it's
nice.
traditional at the end to just call in peace. Nice thing to call in, I think. Say peace.
Peace.
It's all over the world. Shalom. Shanti. Amen.
Great sound. Great sound.
Thank you. And Larissa and Kimo. Appreciate you guys.
Sound, yes.
It was fun just to jump in.
Yeah. I think it was fun. We just
jump on
jumped
in,
together
hear
today here.
songs.
So again, so you'll all be appearing at Bhakti Fest at Joshua Tree, September 5th to the 8th.
Yes.
And
When's your guys' set, by the way?
6:30 to 8 o'clock on Saturday.
On Saturday.
And you're on Saturday, are
We're
you?
on Sunday
Oh,
at
you're
1
on
o'clock.
Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Larissa,
Right on.
What's the name of your band appearing at Bhakti Fest?
Larissa Stowe and Shakti Tribe.
Right. And so you have a 5-piece group of musicians?
Actually, there's 6 of us.
6 of us now.
Yeah, there's 6 of us right now. But it depending upon the situation, just kind of like Deepak was talking about, we kind of shape shift.
Sure.
Depending upon
Yeah, we have
what's
a
needed at
5-piece
time.
band, but at Bhakti Fest it's about a 20-piece band. So. and dancers and audience members and
Totally.
children. It gets pretty crazy over there.
It's such a beautiful, blissful festival. It's really family-like, and with all of us artists, we know each other really well. It's like we show up, we don't even mean to, but because we're in this community of connection, and we're all about like what your show's about, which is consciousness around health and consciousness, around opening ourselves up to how connected we all are. We run into each other all these different places, and so we're a full-on family.
Well, I take it there's a lot of talent on stage. That's a very nice
Amazing
thing.
talent.
Yeah,
The whole
absolutely.
festival, all weekend. So many musicians and people playing with each other and different bands. And I pride myself on playing with as many bands as I can.
Yes, he does.
That sounds like fun.
My record is 28. I played in 28 bands at Bucky Fest in the second year.
Whoa.
That was my record. I don't think I'm gonna beat it because I'm a little more chill these days. I was more of like a crazy monkey back then. Not that it was that long ago, but 28, yeah. That was fun.
So you're in demand. Is that people like your sound?
Well, whether they want me on there or not.
So your mom and dad was right. All that Suzuki training is paying off. Is that it?
It sounds good, hopefully.
Yeah. That sounds very good. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome.
Classic.
It was a total surprise today. Although I was thinking about Deepak, I told him this. I was sitting here and I was thinking about him because I was thinking about when we ran into each other.
Hemp awareness.
Yeah, at a hemp awareness event out near San Diego, and I just thought about him. And he walked, through the door, and
You didn't know he was gonna be here today,
I didn't know he was going to be here today, so it was really awesome.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's showbiz. It's all connected. Yeah, I it's getting him around on stage here, but it actually worked out very nicely today. I'm very happy, really. I'm very happy.
Perfect. Well, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Hope to have you back on again.
That'd be great.
After you win a Grammy, you come back on. We'll have you on again for sure. After a year or two, I think.
In process.
Okay, good. Yeah, I hope so.
For sure.
Lisa, do you want to play us another nice song?
Sure.
Please do. I'm gonna say bye to you guys. I have to run to a studio session. Enjoy Larissa and Shakti Tribe, and we'll all be at Bhakti Fest in just a couple weeks here.
Deepak, thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for being
guys.
on.
Take care, sweetie.
Thank you, guys.
You're listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live Network. The musicians are hugging, and when the musicians are done hugging, they will plug in, and they're going to play us a few more songs. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. While the musicians are setting up, I do want to mention another very important event happening. Labor Day weekend, August 31st, September 1st and 2nd, the 41st Annual Cancer Convention is being held at the Sheraton Universal City in California. And if you enjoy the idea of wellness and you'd like to go to some place where the speakers are credible and know an enormous amount, I have been there many years in a row. I'm happy to recommend the 41st Annual Cancer Convention, once again at the Sheraton Universal, Labor Day weekend, August 31st, September 1st and 2nd. If you have any questions about the 41st Annual Cancer Convention, please do give me a call. The phone number is 818-707-0005. 818-707-0005. Okay, so you're listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live Network. Larissa and Kimo will now take it away.
This is one of my favorites. This is a song that I wrote when I was doing the pop rock. And when I wrote it for myself. I didn't think I would ever perform this live. I wrote it as a prayer for my own heart and just to connect. And little did I know that I would be out in the world singing more devotional music and that it would be like perfect. But at the time I wrote it, I just wrote it just for me. So it's one of my dearest songs. Is deep, the watcher is waiting. Do I trust the thought that's calling me down into song? Dark like cold, silent like snow, cocooning, tuning in to what I'm here to know. Mother sanctuary, I'm out for it, carrying a trail as I learn to love like you, as I learn to I've touched your hem, your fingertips. I've even brushed your holy lips. And still I want more. The door is open.
with grace like the bay. For Mother, I surrender, I surrender, to bloom. We're born to bloom. We're born to bloom. We're born to bloom. Born to bloom. Born to bloom.
And that song was based on a certain moment in your life? You just kind of wrote that song?
Yes. Yes, I was struggling at the time, and I felt like I really had to trust what was happening on the inside of me, even though it didn't make sense. You know, it's that we go through these times in our life where we completely dissolve, in the sense of the mind no longer knows like what to do, how to make a decision, you know, about something. Like you can feel that something is changing on the inside. And at this point in my life, I was really feeling like the path that I was on was not completely in alignment with myself. And yet I was really afraid to take the leap and to jump. And I knew that I had to trust, even though it didn't make any sense. And it's just kind of like how when the caterpillar knows that it has to cocoon and it doesn't really know why. And then it goes into this cocoon and it completely dissolves into caterpillar soup. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. Right? It doesn't just sprout wings, it literally dissolves. So it's like, oh my God, if you know, it's like, what is happening? I'm dying, you know, and it feels like a death that's happening at that time. Yet there is a sense that something else is going to bloom. There's a sense that there's a light somewhere, that you're, you know, being pulled into another direction, that I have to trust this, even if the world is telling me, you know, that's not very logical. What are you doing? And so I was at a crossroads in my life, and I really felt like I needed to trust what was moving on the inside of me, but I was scared.
So this was in the early part of the year 2001 when 9/11 happened, you just decided at that point, nah, I'm just moving in another direction?
Well, that's the thing is I didn't know. I mean, when I started writing these songs, I didn't even know if I would ever perform again because I was feeling myself. And it's interesting, even before 9/11, I started feeling that what I was doing wasn't completely in alignment, even though my songs were still spiritual and they were about spirit, and which has always been important to me. I think my walk at that time and why I was doing it, it's like I was out in the club scene and there was just an energy that I found myself in of wanting to be this band and wanting it to look a certain way.
Sure.
And my heart knew that wasn't really my deepest truth. And so I was struggling and all these great things were happening. I just won Singer-Songwriter of the Year with the Los Angeles Music Awards, and I had labels coming out, and it seemed like, okay, ride this wave, go, ride this wave. And for whatever reason, I was just like finding myself just getting congested, and I had my daughter, and that shifted me too, and it just felt like there's something more than what I'm doing now. But it was scary. It was scary.
Who was an early influence? Joni Mitchell? Or there some people that you think, these people, as when I was 10, 12, 14, 15, I listened to them and I think, I love their sound and I try to take what they have and maybe add something of my own. Was there anything of that going on?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks?
Yes. Yeah, I loved her. She was very, she
certainly was.
Spiritual.
And had a lot of influence. Right.
And I loved her poetry. I loved her artistry, her lyrics. I loved her spirit, totally being who she is, totally being who she is. So that really inspired me big time.
Because I remember when Peter Green played with Mac, when they were a blues band, and Peter Green was considered by some people to be as superb a guitarist as Eric Clapton. Unfortunately, Peter Green passed away at he didn't actually pass away, but he kind of did himself in with drugs, and he kind of fell away from the scene because he just was bad with himself. What happens sometimes, So.
Yeah, that happens to a lot
Stevie
of people.
Nicks, a lot of influence and some lovely songs. So,
yeah, beautifully, absolutely. Yeah, she's one of my songwriting heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And Bono too, I have to say. U2 came later, and I've been very influenced as well by his songwriting. Peter Gabriel, I really love Peter Gabriel a lot and have been influenced by him. So I've got my peeps. And yes, I love Joni Mitchell, but I wasn't really turned on to her till later, honestly. But I like her lyrical.
And as musicians, as artists, so what you try to do is take earlier ideas that you love and add something of your own, so that even though obviously influenced by earlier other musicians, you think, okay, this is great, and I like their stuff, and now I've made it my stuff. Like the Stones, right? It was all Chuck Berry, wasn't it? I mean, they acknowledge it was Chuck Berry, but they don't really sound like Chuck Berry, but they say, oh no, it was Chuck Berry, and Keith Richards says he stole every line from Chuck Berry, which is very sweet of him to say that, but it's not Chuck Berry, but obviously Chuck Berry was the dad. Chuck Berry was the man, and then the Stones took it. But they didn't sound like Chuck Berry. Just like other bands now borrowed from the Stones, but don't sound like the Stones. But they kind of have that influence, which is perfectly fair.
But you feel it. Like, when I'm songwriting, a lot of times I'll feel inspired. I'll feel the energy of Stevie Nicks or of Bono or of Peter Gabriel. Tori Amos actually was a person who also later on influenced me too, because she was so authentic, and really putting it out there. And I think when I first started songwriting, I had a much more concern, and to be honest, it still comes up for me, but I had a concern about of offending people. If I say it really, 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 really straight, that somebody may get offended. And Tori Amos was like a person who, like, she just put it out there, like completely out there, and I went, okay, I got to get even more honest. I have to become even more like that.
Okay, so I'm not quite following that. So you were afraid that you would write a lyric and people would think, this young woman has no right to say that? Is that it? It's too...
Well, yeah. Too controversial. Yeah, and I mean, even going into sacred world music, that's a bit controversial.
It is actually controversial.
And I actually, to be honest with you, like I had a lot of pop rock fans, you know, when I was on that path, and I pretty much had to start completely over because they were not happy with me doing the sacred world music at all. They were like, I would get, you know, I wouldn't call it fan mail, they're from my fans, but I would get emails from people saying, you know, what are you doing? You know, I will come and see you again when you start doing your real music.
Right.
And
It's very tough to be an artist because you think to yourself, I don't want to be singing I Want to Hold Your Hand anymore. You sang that once and now you think that was great at the time, but now I'm not doing that anymore. And there are a lot of fans who say, no, we want you to sing I want to Hold Your Hand, and that's all we want to hear. And it's hard for an artist. Because the reason they come to see you anyway is because you're an artist. You can create. If they could create, they wouldn't come see you. So they want you to create, but then they want you to stop at a certain time, and that's just too bad. And you think, no, I'm not doing that. It's tough. It's tough being an artist.
It's because you get kind of encapsulated in that period of when they heard that song.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I love that energy, and don't ever change it.
Right.
that's what we're supporting. That's what I want.
I want that very same thing. Oh my God, that's energy.
What are you doing with this sacred world music? What the is that?
And then, of course, the other aspect that comes into play is the fact that people who go to Bhakti Fest or listen to the music and love the music, others might say, well, what kind of music is that for a young American girl to play? That's devil music. No, I'm not making a joke. People are terribly conservative, and they think, well, what are they playing? What are these people playing? You know, what is that? And it's surprising in 2013 that you still get that.
Right.
And there's more of it around than you might imagine.
Absolutely.
You know, we sat in the car. We had performed. We went. A friend of ours to her darshan, which is a
blessing.
A blessing. Yeah.
It's a blessing ceremony.
And we played over there, and we actually, after it was over, I remember it was just the two of us, and we sat there, and I was telling Marisa, I don't think I can do this, because it was very traditional, very much by the book, and I come from a heavy metal background. I'm more of the Black Sabbath side instead of Rolling Stone, so.
Aha! This has been a big transition for you.
Huge. But at the same time, the energetic of it, to me, it's like the celebration of God in a big way, or spirit in a big way. And I remember that we were sitting there in the car, and I was just like, somebody handed me a stack of CDs and said, this is what you guys need to sound like over here. In order to conform to this over here, this is what you need to sound like. And I sat there with her and holding those CDs going, I don't know if I can do this. Because my spirit, I come from a Catholic background, and in Catholicism it's like this, it's about bowing down, and I want to be like this, I want to be like that. That to me was somebody again telling me that I need to be down at the feet of instead of celebrating, and I wanted to do that, and we sat and talked about it. I said, this might be a rough ride. We might lose everybody. But at the same time, it's like.
But it's a whole new world, and the people who vibrate with this have come in. It's like, it's beautiful. Like, our fan base is just a beautiful community. It's not like going and just performing for people. It's like you go and you're performing for your community, your family,
your extended family.
So it's beautiful. It was scary, but it was worth the jump. It was worth the fall.
Who is the Bhakti Fest promoter, who's been supporting us since pretty much our first outing, right?
Yeah. He has. And we're so grateful that he took the vision, and he had this vision of bringing all this beautiful music together, and created a festival where all of us could come together.
Yeah, it was very forward thinking on his part. If I could mention one thing, I had Sri on the show, and he mentioned, which I was impressed with this. He brought tea tree oil to the United States.
Yes,
he was kind of the guy.
He did.
And sometimes you forget that one or two people have an idea about something, and they have influence. And tea tree oil, widely used in Australia, now widely used everywhere, because Sri decided this worked, and he brought it over here, and it's great, a little antiseptic, it's fantastic. But he brought it over, and I was so happy to hear that. I thought, because my world is wellness, and I thought, isn't that fantastic? What a nice thing to have accomplished. And now he's doing this, and once again, it's great.
Taking the leap.
And it's progressive. And again, I'm sure it's not all that easy to do it.
artists.
That's right. You have to set it all up. But luckily, the artists seem pretty easygoing on this one. Do you want to play something else for us? Play another song?
We could. We could do it. What do you want to say?
Totally daring.
I know. We could be very, very daring. I don't know. Should we be very daring?
Yes.
There's a song we haven't played in public
Do
at
your best
all,
stuff.
which means, well, who knows if it's the best stuff because it's so new that we haven't played it.
Well, go out
you
on
know.
the limb then. What the heck?
So you would want us to take a little bit of a risk if I can remember all the words to it right now. That is. What did you? That one or? Okay. What are you feeling? Something more lilting and like this, or something more celebration?
Something a little heavy metal we can throw in a little bit. Or something else.
Okay. Let's do Tara. Let's do a little bit of Tara then. Okay. See, we don't even know. So this one is Tara. Again, unconditional love. That aspects of ourselves that end suffering because we open up to the truth of who we are. Secret truth in the addict's haze. There's a free soul in every rusted cage. Om Tara, Om. Let me serve without the need to be repaid. Let me hear the love in a tyrant's rage. Let me open up my soul. Fly right out of this rusted cage. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara. I'm feeling you. I am the grace, I am the grace, I am the grace, 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 grace of seeing you. Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, wake up my heart light. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara. Om Tara, Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Swaha. Om Tara, Om Tara, Tutare, Ture, Swaha. Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara, Om Tara. I am the love, I am the love, I'm feeling you. I am the grace, I am the grace, I am the grace, the grace, the grace, the grace of seeing you. Grace,
it's a grace to see in you.
Which is very lovely music. It's interesting. So this is popular music. You're both musicians playing popular music, but it's in a different space now, right? There's no drinking, no drugging. It's just people enjoying the music, but it's different. It's very fresh, isn't it? It's very different.
Yeah, we play at a festival out in Salt Lake. It's called the Holy Festival of Colors.
Which one?
Holy Festival of Colors.
Ah.
And there's probably like 25,000 to 50,000 people there, and most of the majority of them are completely drug-free. They're having a good time just by throwing colors and stealing people's shoes.
Oh, really? Okay, well, okay.
Throwing them up over the stage.
That's like their naughty thing that they do.
And crowd surfing.
Because we have over the stage they have it's not a canopy, it's like a metal canopy, and so as people are crowd surfing, they take their shoes and they throw them up on the top, which is fun. To me that's like a thing a family can do together.
Sure. It sounds like fun. Well, listen, you've been great. I really appreciate it. Can I get a farewell song before you go? And before you give me the farewell song, how can we contact you? Buy CDs, go hear you in person. What do we do?
You can go to our website, www.larisastow.com, or you can actually put in Shakti Tribe too, SHAKTITRIBE.com, and it will tell you all about our upcoming shows. And we also have a presence on Facebook, which is really fun as well. So it's Larissa Stowe and Shakti Tribe on Facebook. We've got the Chakra Shack coming up.
Yeah, what coming up?
The Chakra Shack. We're going to be in Laguna Beach, and there's a beautiful grand opening. It's going to be like really celebratory, and that's on Saturday, the 1st of August, and we're going to be actually at September. That's right. I'm not traveling backwards. It's in September 1st, and we're actually going to be at the Center for Spiritual Living doing some services next Sunday.
Is that in Encino? Where is that?
Seal Beach is next to Long Beach area. And then we're going to be at Bhakti Fest. Then we're going to be at Whole Bean Weekend out in Idlewild up in the mountains. And then we're doing a special retreat with Kathleen McGowan, who wrote The Expected One, The Book of Love, and The Poet Prince. She's a New York Times bestseller. And she has this beautiful retreat called The Heroine's Journey that we're going to be playing at, and I'm going to be speaking at in September. And it just goes, we've got a lot of beautiful stuff to get.
Well, good. It sounds like you're being very active. Great.
But Bhakti Fest, please come out, and, for all the people who are listening, it is so much fun. It is so much fun. If you go once, it's hard not to go back again and again.
Well, that's good to hear.
For sure.
That's very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you going to play for us now?
Huh? Keep playing that one. I know he's hinting around a new song.
I keep hinting at this new song because it's a new thing.
Sure.
And I'm excited.
If you want to, sure. Break a new song on the show. I'm happy to hear. Happy to do that.
Okay. How about this? How about if we just debut the song? It's still a work in progress, but it's done with a lot of love.
Okay, that sounds good.
So this song was actually inspired by reading Kathleen McGowan's books. She has this. It's a beautiful love story that goes through these books, and it's very controversial. But there's a lot of I guess how would I say it? Not history in the normal sense, but if you go to France, there is local history about the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be controversial for some and not for others.
Right.
So this is a song about not only their relationship, but just the divine relationship within ourselves, of the masculine and the feminine energies within our own being, and how when we're present to those energies living within us, we begin to wake up and see everything is beautiful in life.
My sacred lover, brush against my lips, linger in this kiss, breathe deep without in my chalice well within. Still, I'll drop my scars and stones, but never in King receive your throne. Om Shri Mary, Om Shri Isa, 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 I've been waiting in this wanting street, afraid of losing me. If I dare to bear my shipwrecked heart, I must climb these spiral stairs of trust. Repeat without looking back, just where is then I drop my scars and stones, but never in King receive your throne. Om Shri Mary, Om Shri Sa, Om Shri Mary, Om Shri Sa, Om Shri Shiva, Om Shri Shakti, Om Shri Shiva, Om Shri Shakti,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very lovely. Thank you. Very good. So Larissa, Chemo, thank you very much. Lovely performance. I very much appreciate it, and I hope you get a great turnout at Bhakti Fest in Joshua Tree. That's September 5th through the 8th, and many other engagements. And again, Larissa Stowe and the Shakti Tribe, we can catch you on Facebook and on the internet. And I watched a bunch of your videos, by the way, and you're everywhere on the internet too as well.
Yes, we are. Well, thank you, Josh, for having us.
It was fun. It was really fun. Thank you very much. Thanks for being on. You've been listening to Here's to Your Health on the LA Talk Live television network. I'm your host, Josh Lane. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.